Hey guys, Tom Duday here, and you're listening to The Crowject.
Walker needs to kick accurately, and he has. Oh, what a lifter for the
excitement machine, McLeod. Left foot goal.
Oh, don't tell me.
He's a superstar.
Don't tell me. Oh!
Bounces straight up, leaves the path of the ball.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest episode of the Crowject podcast. Just want to give a shout out to our sponsors off the top, as always, in Trojan Aluminium and Pain Med SA. Unfortunately, as per usual, there are some absentees, but the majority of us are here. We'll get to them around the table now. Damon.
G'day, mate. How are you?
I'm good. For those that haven't seen the video on Facebook, we are not doing Wednesday Night Live because there is a massive pod to get to. Unfortunately,
if you listen to this now, you know we didn't do Wednesday Night Live.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So don't go looking for it.
Unless you're a time traveller who's taking this back in, just don't worry
about it. If you are a time traveller, let us know how all this turns out, please.
Yeah. And if you want to let us know how much we lose to Brisbane by, that'd be great.
And where it's been played.
Yeah. Lleyton.
Yeah, how you going?
I'm good. And last but not least, Benny Mac is back.
Yeah, how you going?
Good. Shout out to Elodie and Pete, who could not be here. They will be with us next week from all reports. Now, tonight is a big night. Damon's looking to reclaim his Patreon.
I've got to find the list now.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He wants to break the record again. But for those of you that haven't signed up or would like to, please head over to patreon.com/Crowject. And if you do sign up, you are entitled to what, Lleyton?
Episodes of Go Crom. The second part of the Andrew Bennett episode was released last week.
Ripper.
Went for over an hour, and that was just the second part. And we have another guest lined up to record next week. So
lovely.
They keep rolling.
We've also got episodes of Obscure Crow.
We do.
New episodes of Obscure Crow coming up. We've got what feels like endless episodes from the Graham Corns tapes that Leighton's seriously working through.
Yes.
I've tried my hand at writing a couple of articles, a couple of opinion pieces, so if you enjoy that sort of thing, check those out as well. And there's a whole bunch of different interviews that we've done over the journey, AFLW players, all sorts of stuff. You won't be bored.
Yeah, and when you sign up, you get free merch.
What merch do you get?
Get yourself a lanyard, stubby holder, and a bottle opener.
Lovely.
Beautiful.
As far as a Crom beanie update goes, unfortunately, COVID has put this all into uncertainty, I guess.
Yep.
We just haven't got them yet, so you'll get them eventually, guys.
Excuse
me.
That wasn't a COVID cough, was it? It was just a fungus cough. That's
No, I'm just good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no. It's nothing major. I've been tested.
Oh, good. How sweet is that text message when it rolls through?
The best,
isn't it?
But I'll tell you what, it's not sweet when they poke your brain.
Oh, yeah, right.
When you're going through for the test.
Yeah. Hello, I'd like the back of my eyeball scraped vigorously, please.
Yeah, both sides.
Both sides.
Yep.
Thank you so much for the time.
Yep. Now open your mouth up wide, please. Oh, really? You're going to poke down to my kidneys? Thank you so much. But yes, if you do want to buy one, you can head to project.bigcartel.com. I don't know how many beanies have been sold because Pete's not here.
Lots.
It's a lot.
Number.
Yeah. We are blown away, to say we are humbled by the amount of Crom beanies that we see around just day to day and at different sporting events and stuff.
I think the total is over 1,000 now.
That's
over
just
1,000 beanies.
Stunning. It's amazing. And by buying a beanie, you're helping us not only fund Fight MND, you're also helping us with a whole bunch of other charities, which you can see on our Facebook page and our socials.
Okay, let's hear. We're here for the world record.
Oh, are we doing it?
Yes.
Have you got the list?
I've got the list.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to get some music behind this one, I reckon.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to find it.
We're going to start putting some production value behind this now, are we?
Give me 2 seconds. All right, I've got the music here. And your time starts now.
Samuel Curtis, arguably AFL, Callum Ryan, Amelia, Frank Milanese, Jacob Pearce, Sharon Cameron, Matty Irwin, Geedy Gov, Ethan Thomas, Christy Bainish, Harry Nelly, Martin Head, Kim Ryder, Aaron Shearer, Dan Yanch, Brendan McGarrigan, James Payne, Caitlin Stevens, Crow Tricolours, Chris Daniel, Sarah James, Adams, Aurelio, Joel Coutinho, Zen Ronaldo, Martin Adams, Tom Schultz, Michael Bornholm, Nathan Bryan, Caroline Scomar, Lucky Glasbrook, Andy Munro, Peter Beveridge, Shane Muddy, Simon McDonald, Aidan Gain, Jeremy Jezza Withers, Lachlan Dand, Ian Mitchell, Lord Nathan Williams, Jason McKay, Pete Nash, Matt O'Brien.
Ooh,
I don't feel good about that one.
Does anyone remember what Cream's time even was last week?
No.
23.4 or something.
Well, you're going to have to try again next week.
Jesus.
25.06. So it is faster than your first
I was going to say, that is better than...
Yeah, true.
Yep.
All right, should we carve it on the wall behind us? Like, should we have a leadership board going, do you think? Or?
Yeah, well, that's the reason, clearly, that Elodie's not here tonight, because
Yes.
last week I told her that it was her go tonight, and she's trying to get out of it. Not that easy, mate.
No. I was always going to reclaim my crown.
Yes.
So she's just avoiding a fight with me over who gets to read this
Exactly
out.
right.
Which
Yep.
is gutless, frankly, Elodie. No, we love you. We can't wait to see. Should we just mention Elodie's probably doing a mountain of work at the moment in her day job, and
Yes.
she's an absolute hero, and we love her, and best of luck, Elodie. We know you'll be listening to this, and we're all thinking of you, mate.
Shout out to all the nurses out there as well, putting in a lot
100%.
of time and effort. Now, we didn't touch on the other merch that you can get through the crowjack.bigcartel.com store. There are hoodies, scarves. You'll see the scarves on a video we put up tonight. Stickers and bucket hats.
And we got phone cases coming soon as well.
All of it.
Bit of sizzle on the phone cases.
Last but not least, in the intro, just want to plug the City to Bay participation. Ben, tell them about it. What's the deal?
Well, we're walking the walk and talking the talk for the City to Bay Fun Run in conjunction with the press box for childhood cancer, I believe it is.
Correct.
And the boys over there might have noticed we made a little donation last week with a very special number attached to that. So I'm sure Jack Hudson is absolutely loving it, and I won't mention his group of people this week. So we got slandered over here last week.
I reckon you do not speak for everyone on this podcast. No, we are not all whatever the term is.
Masonites? I don't know.
Yeah, Hudsonites or whatever.
No idea.
But looking forward to getting into the City to Bay. Should probably start training, really. It's a couple of months away.
Just shock your body into it. It'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen?
Just take a
However, it is good to see that we're not also the only ones doing something for this cause. It was brought out on the 7AFL Facebook page in the last couple of days that Luke Hodge is doing a marathon, I think, in the Gold Coast to raise money for childhood cancer as well. So whether you donate to us or him, who cares?
Got to say, I got very, very excited. I thought, wow, look at the pull of the press box that Luke Hodge is going to come in. And then I read a little bit deeper. In Queensland. Oh, okay. I thought maybe Tugwell's star had risen so far that he was able to get in touch with
Sean Craig Murphy's nearly poster boy.
That's it, exactly. Yeah.
Here's my plan. I'm going to go over to Gold Coast.
I just do a virtual marathon. Get him on a treadmill with a feed of the race.
I'm going to manage to keep up with him for the entire marathon and talk him into coming back here for the City to Bay by the time he's done.
Tell you what, if you do that and you convince him, I'll pay your airfares.
Done.
Please, Hodgie. Please.
Yeah.
Come to Adelaide, Hodgie.
Yeah, just annoy him to death. How about now? You want to come now? But that is enough for the intro. Unfortunately, we have to get into the news.
Which is weird and complicated today.
So a bit's happened since our usual recording that we've missed on Monday.
This is why I'm not going to speak for everyone. We should always do the pod on a Wednesday and make it Monday Night Live. If we can. Because everything happens on a Tuesday. I feel like every time we get off on a Monday night, something happens.
No, I might have a look into it.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of us, the biggest news
No
of
one
the
saw
day
this coming.
is not football related, so
No.
it doesn't matter about what time. COVID doesn't schedule press releases.
Very true.
Just sort of pops up.
Yeah, Nicholas Berry was like, we'll wait until the Crowjack are getting off the air on a Monday night.
That's right.
To put the wheels in motion.
Yep.
And we
Absolutely.
caught him. Because we were like, no, we're not going to do it on Monday
Not
this
getting
week.
sucked in this time. Nicholas. Got him.
God bless you, Nicola, by the way.
So there was a game last weekend.
Are we going to that, or are we going to
Yes.
talk about the elephant in the room?
No, you want to get to the elephant in the room later?
Cue the soundbite.
Yeah, all right, let's do it.
Because this is just going to set up
It is now the VFL.
pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah. So, someone stop me if I get any of this wrong, by the way, because it's been evolving since about 11 o'clock this morning.
Might have changed about 2 minutes ago, so you could be.
Who knows? I mean, I was about to get in the car and then you put something in our chat about... Anyway, so what? This morning...
At present, we are reporting what we believe is
That's right. At Wednesday, the 30th, at about 5 to 8. This is literally how up to date we can be. So, as far as we're aware, COVID cases in South Australia, a family of 5, currently doing the right thing, locking down. By the sounds of it, we're not experts here, but by the sounds of it, they did everything right, these people, and they got tested and they isolated.
Yep.
Good on them. They
and
deserve
that
a medal.
deserves a big tick.
Absolutely.
The most famous family in
Aren't
SA.
they? Yeah. So all that needs to be said about them is good on you. You've done everything you could. Now, They're in isolation. That's thrown everything into disarray. I thought up until about midday we'd be in a lockdown by now.
Yep.
So we didn't even think this would be happening.
But we're not in lockdown.
We're not in lockdown. Hallelujah. Now we get news that the Crows and the Power are about to get on a plane and fly to Melbourne.
Yes.
To join the other interstate teams. I believe Brisbane, Gold Coast, Freo and West Coast had already flown over.
Yeah, Freo and West Coast flew over earlier in the week on a plane together, which
see that.
Must have been a hell of a trip.
Yep.
You saw the photo with like one on one side, one on the other?
Yeah.
Just staring at each other down the aisle.
Typical 16-year-old birthday party. All the boys in one corner, all the girls in the other. Just segregated.
But the latest development seems to be that the Crows will be able to play in Adelaide after all. Is that right, Ben?
Yeah, that's what I read. So the game will still go ahead here on Saturday. So effectively, Brisbane and us will fly back into Adelaide and then fly back to Melbourne afterwards.
Yeah.
Right. The press conference. Sorry, Lleyton.
This was VFL's plan all along. First get the Eastern States, lock them in.
Yeah.
And then fly over SA and WA teams and base them in Victoria. And just fly them back to Adelaide to play games.
I wonder what the conditions are about them flying back in. Can they go back to their homes? For example, if a bunch of the blokes' misses come to the game and they want to take them home for an hour before they go back to the airport,
right?
Is that allowed? Or are they essentially...
Masks on.
Yeah, masks on.
Please wear your mask.
Yeah.
Yes.
We did have a great comment earlier on the very quick live video we did, which was just very simply, Tex, wear your mask.
Yes.
We couldn't agree more.
Very
Tex,
true.
wear your bloody mask,
We
mate.
don't want to deal with any more fines.
No, thank you. But yeah, it's from what I understand, Adam Kelly did a press conference earlier today.
It lasted about 3 minutes as he was on the way to the airport. I think.
Literally, yeah. He was in the car park at Westlakes waiting to get into a car to go to the airport. From what we understand, the players were told to pack for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Highly doubtful they'll be there for 2 weeks, but no one honestly knows. It looks like they're going to basically get to Tullamarine, spend a night in a hotel in Melbourne overnight, and then when they get the all clear, they'll fly back with Brisbane. But who the hell knows? It could change. You could be listening to this tomorrow morning and going, man, these guys are so out of date.
So when we do the round 16 predictions, we'll just be doing it Elodie style. We'll be looking at the pitches, and that's it. Because we don't know when they're playing, where they're playing.
We don't know who's playing.
No.
There are a couple locked in. I think we have Carlton Geelong or Carlton West Coast locked in GMH.
Oh, yeah.
And
Hang your hat on that
And
match.
I was going to say, that's in Geelong, isn't it?
Yeah. And
Ugh.
Essendon are playing in Geelong for the first time in 30 years or something as well.
Yeah.
Who are they playing in Geelong?
I think it might be Geelong.
So whose home game is this? I think Carlton... Is it Carlton's home game?
Yes.
I think it is because Carlton get a whole lot of money out of this from the AFL, and they would have seen that West Coast got done by like 108 points when they played down in Geelong earlier this year. So they win all round. They're like, West Coast can't fucking play down there. We get extra coin. Win-win.
And this is where it gets a little bit, like you say, VFL-ish, Lleyton, where it makes sense. Like Melbourne is the perfect place right now to host all the teams, don't get me wrong.
But 2 weeks ago, it
Yeah,
was the
right?
opposite.
Yeah, absolutely. And all of a sudden, a bunch of Victorian clubs are rubbing their hands together, going, yeah, we got the unfair home advantage. That's probably the least we have to say on that because, like, footy, who cares? As long as footy's happening, it's got to happen somewhere. There was a great suggestion today made. I think it was Graham Goodings said on Facebook or Twitter, just get all the AFL teams into a suburban ground, get them all, like, you know, the Crows can take up Moorabbin and Port can take up Waverley or something like that and share it, and we can just have all these boutique Melbourne stadiums being used for this round. I thought that's not actually a bad idea, I thought.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Cream disagrees. He wants to move on quickly.
Yeah.
You're sick of this already.
Yeah. Fucking COVID. Let's get to the result. Unfortunately, the Crows did go down. That's what happens when you don't play 4 quarters of football, but we'll get to that. The Crows, 10-13-73, were defeated by Carlton, 12 goals, 11-83. And the first dot point I've written up is, why did we get back on the bus at quarter time? Anyone have any idea?
No.
Please.
No idea.
Enlighten me.
We left.
Yeah.
Just weren't there. And Carlton bowled on, what was it, 8 goals?
Yep.
8 goals in the second quarter?
Yep.
And they
Scarily quick.
kicked 12 goals for the game. So, I mean, that's the game.
You get to a point, too, in the fourth quarter where you think, why does this team love close finishes so much? And then you realise it's because we leave all that work for too late. Against St Kilda, it's a bit of an outlier because it was wet and tragic conditions, blah, blah, blah. Now this looks more like a trend.
Yeah.
It looks absolutely like a trend all of a sudden. Where
it happened against Hawthorn.
Yep.
St Kilda, even though we won, it still happened against St Kilda.
Yep.
Melbourne, Gold Coast, even we won late. Fremantle beat us close late.
Yep.
We shouldn't be that surprised. I think we've all said throughout the year they're a young team and they're inconsistent, and this is just part and parcel of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, fade outs. I mean, the positives that you can take out of it is that we weren't then belted by 10 goals against Carlton.
Yes. We are still competitive throughout the remainder of the game.
That's right. So there's, you can choose to look at it two ways. You can either go, oh man, we can't win close ones. We can. We've won close ones.
Yeah.
We keep creating close ones because we have brain fades because, like you said, Cream, we're a bloody young team. Yeah.
Okay, well, next up. Is there a concern with goal kicking? Tex kicking 3 goals for? Discuss.
What do you reckon?
I reckon it was the open roof. He didn't know what to do.
A few swirling eddies, you reckon, coming down. Left to right breeze. It's, I don't know.
I think it's not an issue. He had 7 scoring shots. That's the main thing.
Yeah, the fact that he's getting the ball. I mean, team-wise in the first quarter, you could probably say, maybe we've got a bit of an issue there. But I think we'll be right.
But it wasn't just Tex. Like, I think Tex is being singled out a bit, but I think Rowie missed one early on. Did McAdam miss one early too?
We were 0 goals 6.
Oh, Jesus.
In the first 10 minutes of the game. It was frustrating. We could have dominated. We could have kicked 8 goals like Carlton did in the second quarter. But
football is very clearly a momentum game.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is what happens when one team makes the most of it and the other one just doesn't.
100%. Yeah. Can we move on from this game?
Yeah.
Who are your favourite players?
Oh, yeah, we got to do that. Yeah. God, this feels like a week ago now.
Well, I mean, Seedsman and Smith just keep racking up meters. I think they had over 1,400 between them again. And Ben Keys putting together another fine game. I think he had 29 touches, 6 clearances, 6 tackles.
Yeah.
Rory Laird, 33 touches, just consistent performers.
In Keys' second year, he's been as consistent as all our other senior players.
Yeah.
On the open market right now, he would be fetching 750, 700, 750 maybe.
For a team that needs him, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I also thought Jones played another great game off half.
No, I disagree. I thought it was the worst game of footy he's ever played.
He genuinely frustrated me on the weekend. There were so many little mistakes. Like I'm not even kidding. Like he had some good patches, but there were just a lot of little mistakes that really frustrated me. And I don't know if it's just because I was watching at the moments when he did the bad things or what happened, but he just really frustrated me.
On the other hand, the other Jones from Carlton was probably best. Oh, I won't say that because Sam Walsh had a blinder, but Liam Jones's job on Riley Thilthorpe was unbelievable.
Yep.
Riley Thilthorpe should watch that game footage over and over again, and he will learn a lot.
And not be disappointed with it either because he just got beaten by a more experienced, better player.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did different stuff in that game. He was clearly being beaten deep, so then you saw him move up a little bit, try and take a mark on the flank.
Yep.
Didn't work, so we went back deep. Didn't work. But good on Riley for persisting with it. And you're right, Cream. Like that's going to be the best education he's going to get. And it's happening in his first year of footy.
Yeah.
This kid is going to be an absolute superstar if he keeps on this trend.
Let's be honest. He's in his first year. When he's ideally fully grown, he'll have an extra, 10 kilos
fully
on him?
Grown? What do you reckon he's going to spread up anymore?
No, I mean,
this kid's going to be 7'9".
When he grows out, he should have another 10 kilos, 10, 15 kilos and just be stronger in the contest. And I think that's what was missing on the weekend.
Definitely.
So who stunk out the joint for the Crows on the weekend?
Unfortunately, it was my man Fogarty.
Yeah.
Really?
Popped up early.
I was going to say, first quarter, he was obviously up and about, and I loved his aggression. I thought that putting Plowman on him was a very advantageous matchup for us. But we just didn't see him after quarter time.
Well, he just didn't make the most of that matchup, and I'm starting to get a little bit, I don't know, I can understand the criticism leveled at him. I've been defending Fogarty for a long time, and I'll continue because he's still only a kid. He's got a long way to go, and he signed a contract extension, so we don't have to worry about him being farmed out, but he needs to find a way to get involved later in games. He can't just keep having cameos. He's got to find a way to get his hands on the ball when things aren't working for the team, And it's hard to do when you're playing deep forward. I get that. He's not a midfielder. He hasn't got a midfielder's endurance, but I don't know. He's got to find something. He's got to find a trick within his game to be able to, get a late touch or get a late thing. Because he's bottom of the stats. The only one above him is Butts, who played at fullback, for God's sake.
But he did have 100% disposal efficiency.
Out of how many possessions, Lleyton?
Not many.
3, mate.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Who else was there that just didn't?
There's been a lot of criticism towards Ned McHenry.
Fair or unfair?
I thought I was happy with his game, to be honest.
I thought so too.
In and around. Gave a bit of nickel at times, and I thought he was solid.
Yeah. I don't know.
He wasn't terrible.
No.
He didn't set the world on fire.
Yeah.
He's fine.
What's he going to be? What kind of player? Is he going to be a small forward? Is he going to be a midfielder? Is he going to be a hybrid of the two? What's his spot in 5 years' time, Graham?
I'd love him to be like a Tom Lynch kind of player.
Yeah.
He has endurance for days.
Mm.
And
at the moment, I see him just
like
as
connector.
As another Lockie Murphy at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't see him breaking out as a connector yet, but hopefully he will do in the future.
He wants to start kicking goals then, if that's going to be his
True.
game. Should we do the 3-2-1? With all
Sure.
the PRG? Yeah.
You sound so excited about it.
This was a crap game. I'm done talking about it already.
I'm just going to get
I
mine
think
out.
this is why we do it on Monday, so we actually remember the game.
Yeah, so it's a bit fresh. Yeah.
I'm just going to get mine out of the way early. I will go Keys 3, Seedsman 2, Smith 1.
Very good.
Fair.
Yeah.
Damon, you're up next.
I was on board for a little bit, but I reckon I've got to put Laird in there. So I'll go, Cream is tripping over cords. You good? He's good. He's fine.
Yeah.
Keys, Seedsman, Laird. Ben?
Yeah, Keys definitely with the 3, Laird 2, and probably Seed with the 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the same 3 players every
Isn't
week,
it?
pretty much.
Isn't it?
Laird, Keith, Seedsman. I mean, it's good that they're consistent, but it'd be good to get slightly more even performance from everyone else.
Yep.
Sloan played decently.
Mm.
He had a couple of mistakes in the game, but overall pretty good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with his injury though,
Yeah.
which Nixie is concerned about. So what was it? His
he should be. His
finger
Finger,
or his
yeah.
thumb?
His finger. And it is concerning because it's one of those where it's sort of play on through pain or get surgery.
Yeah.
We had a great comment from when I did my live before we started recording. Christy Bainish, friend of the pod, asked, should we just send him off for surgery now or do we get him to persist?
I'd be shooting him off.
Yeah, I would.
May as well while they're doing it depends whether he's being flown out to Melbourne now.
Well, does anyone know the size of the squad we've sent out to Melbourne?
What about the SNFL team?
This is what I'm wondering. Like, are we sending everyone that works for the Crows over to Melbourne now, or are we sending blokes at home? Have we already unofficially named a list to play?
Surely,
and the rest are staying.
Surely like a 25, 26 man squad over there.
You don't think they're going to take 50 players and then we have about 22 top-up players for the SNFL?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I'll put my hand up. I'm not doing anything this weekend. So surely 25, 26, and then whoever's staying behind plays in the SANFL. But
can someone who stays in SA still play in the AFL be called up if they're not in the bubble?
If they give them 8 hours warning so they can drive over. If they left them in Adelaide, how are they going to get over for the game?
Well, what if the game's in
still
Adelaide?
here.
Played here. Oh, Jesus.
Sure, if they're not in that bubble, I don't think they'd let him.
Yeah,
You'd think
that's
so,
what I'm
wouldn't you?
thinking.
The thing with Sloan is it's a tough one because when he was out, every week that passed, we noticed his absence more and more.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel. So essentially, if the Crows say that the season is a lost cause in terms of making finals, which let's be honest, we're not making finals.
No.
That's all well and good. Then you send him in. But if you want him there for a sense of leadership to the young kids.
Which, with the injured finger, you can still do that off field, but obviously can't do it on field.
Well, look at
in the
most
2 hours of the game.
Most of last season, he was out crook as well.
Yeah.
And that was with a thumb, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The guy
I'm
can't
not
catch
sure.
a break.
Yeah, no, I mean, between his eyes and
I saw
His
his
eyes,
cheekbone.
everything.
I don't know.
Poor bastard. He's going to be the most banged up player to not win a flag at this rate, isn't he? But
I think he's an injury every season, pretty much.
yeah, but he was around for all of last season, G'ing up blokes and being an assistant coach, basically. So there's nothing stopping him doing that. The other way to look at this is, do you keep an injured senior player in the team at the expense of blooding a youngster like Haitley?
Yeah. Well, this is definitely another case where we don't have to. We don't need him to be in the side as much as we want him in the side for the last, 8 rounds?
Yeah.
7 or 8 games? Yeah, we don't need it. We got a lot more players who we haven't given opportunities to yet, especially in the middle and not playing out of position.
That's true too. Or do we just sort of throw, because again, on Twitter, someone was asking, is it time we give Berry a break? I almost think it's time to throw Berry straight in the guts in the midfield and see how he goes for a bit.
I would take out, if you're going to blood a young kid in the midfield, I'd take out Sloan or I'd bring in Pedler.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Bring Pedler in for the rest of the year. He's doing well at SANFL level. From all reports, he's going to be a Jet. Just give him a few games this year so we can see what it's like at the level. And just, I mean, he'll have nothing to lose. There's no pressure on him.
Yep.
Just throw him in there and
I
see
like
how it
that.
goes.
I like that show because we were talking before about how it's always Seatsman, Keys, Laird getting the midfield numbers. And then behind him, it's always Smith sort of rounding out the fourth with Sloan. It's time for another line breaker. It's time for another quick player to come into the team.
You see what you have with Schoenberg, and I mean, like, he looks like in a few years, once he develops a bit more, he could very well be that. Like, you see explosiveness from him. But yeah, no, it never hurts to see what else you've got.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Now, did we all give our best on ground votes?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Zach Williams copped a week. Sucked in, you dog. What was this for? Anyone want to touch on that?
Well, we saw it about 50 times on our social media feed, and then the AFL actually did something about it, which is surprising.
How
But
nice.
It was good. Yeah.
I'd like to say I played a part. I think I got 100 likes on that retweet.
I saw you tagging at AFL. I saw that.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not enough.
Bad look.
It's not enough. It's a terrible look for the game. This wasn't a football act. This wasn't him trying to get a hard ball.
It was on the AstroTurf, 100 metres away from the ball at that time, I think.
Yeah.
The one thing that stopped this being a 4 to 5 week suspension was that Keys didn't get concussed.
Yeah.
But his intent was to concuss him.
Exactly.
And you can't argue any other way. Like, he was trying to hurt the guy.
And the umpire was right there.
I know.
Ben Keys literally pointed to the umpire who was looking at the incident and he just did nothing.
I mean,
he put his arm out.
Oh,
yeah.
That'll do something.
Stop, guys.
Yeah. No, stop it. I'm not sure there's heaps the umpire can do in that case, apart from just go, don't worry, I've written down his number.
But he didn't.
Well, yeah, good point. Yeah, he got cited later. Yeah.
And just a shout out to the Carlton Nuffy who was trying to compare it to the way that Thilthorpe stood up. And you know how players sometimes stand up and, push into the back a little bit? There was a Carlton Nuffy getting into me saying, oh, well, look at what Thilthorpe did 2 seconds later. Yeah, he stood up.
Yeah.
He didn't grab him by the Guernsey and just throw him into the ground from like half a metre up. It was,
It does need to be said here too, though, by the way, that
Are you about to touch on the
controversy around this? Do you want to do it? Or?
No, you do it.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about Zach Williams.
Yeah. Do not ever racially vilify anyone, footballer or no. I don't care if the bloke slammed one of our blokes' heads into the ground.
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve racist feedback. He deserves suspensions and he deserves to be called a flog, but keep racism out of it, you nuffies.
It doesn't achieve anything. It's about,
At all.
you talk about the action from Williams being a bad look on the game. Racism is worse.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I must have missed this. I didn't see this, but I can't believe this is still happening.
Right?
Kane Little, the
every
Carlton
time.
CEO, came out. Everyone's come out in support of him.
Yep.
It's just an ongoing thing.
And credit to Carlton. I don't think anyone's come out and used this as a, he did nothing wrong. Everyone's aware of what he did. He's done the wrong thing. He's copping a week for it.
And they didn't challenge it.
They didn't challenge it. Good on Carlton. I mean, I still maintain it should have been more than a week. But
That's probably why they didn't challenge it.
yeah, exactly. Don't test
You
a
know
week.
what? All right.
2 weeks. But yeah, it's right up there with people that, it's not the same thing because this is racism, but don't hassle players because they got suspended. Don't hassle players because they hurt your bloke, and don't hassle players because they messed up your multi. Just
Oh my god!
You know, get your head read, people.
All right. If somebody wants to get up the Twitter comments, I've got the Facebook ones right here. We'll start with Brendan McGarrigan, Patreon listener. If ever the "you blew it" gif could be used, that was it. You blew it! Shout out to Adam Sandler. Had our chances late in the game, but silly turnovers and some poor shots at goal killed us. Again, the side shows they'll never give up, but they've got to stop digging these big holes to get themselves out of.
Big tick.
Connor Nelson. Nixie needs to listen to the Wednesday night lives. Damo said Sholey needs a week in the twos.
Oh,
I did. Yeah, I did say that.
Now,
Needs a bit of a rest.
what were Lockie Scholl's stats on the weekend, gentlemen? From all reports,
Jeez,
he
I'm glad
didn't
this bloke's
light it
paying
on
attention
fire.
to what I say because I completely forgot I said that. Bloody hell. What did he get?
he got, I think, 12 touches, or is it
14.
14?
14. We're looking at a new format here, ladies and gentlemen. It's a little bit different to what we used to. But yeah, 3 contested possessions, 11 uncontested. 85.7% disposal efficiency, which isn't terrible.
It wasn't terrible, but if you compare that to the game against
North Melbourne.
Melbourne, very similar conditions, except the roof was closed and we were facing North Melbourne.
Yes.
Yeah.
Other than that, pretty much the same.
Yeah. It's
And he played
almost
blind about the
worth
game.
it's almost
Yeah.
worth giving him a break now before he has that terrible game. Do you know what I mean? Like just give
or
him
just gets injured because
absolutely
he's
because
only a young player.
yeah, and he's been gassing himself over the last couple of weeks. So
Yeah, he's doing
Yeah.
David McKay style of running 14 kilometres with 14 touches.
but David McKay's had 62 preseasons to back all of that up.
Very
whereas
true.
Sholly's had 3 or 4.
All right, next up, Mark McInerney. Lockie Scholl missing that goal was massive.
Well, it was well lost before that. It was frustrating to see that because it would have made it interesting for the
Yeah,
last
with a minute and a half to go.
minute and a
Yeah.
half if he kicked that goal. As soon as he got the ball, I was like, oh, brilliant. He's going to kick the goal.
Yeah.
Because it's Lockie Scholl. Because Taylor Walker's rated in the best kick.
Yeah.
But yeah, missed it.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Too much pressure on a young kid.
Could have probably run another 20 metres, to be fair, as well. We had a lot of space in front of him just to really
That
make
comes
sure
from
of it.
talk from behind, so you'd
Yeah.
hope that there were blokes behind him telling
There
him.
was
to
no
take
one
a
near him.
formation.
That's
No.
probably why.
Yeah.
I mean, in his mind, he's also thinking, do I have 60 seconds or
Or
6
10
seconds?
seconds?
I guess that's
Yeah.
true. He doesn't know exactly how long's left in the game.
Jared Petrenko style of kicking out the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Shaheen Marty.
Good.
A few times this year, we've shot ourselves in the foot with a quarter, which makes it virtually impossible to come back from, especially with goals in quick succession.
Yeah, that is not good.
I can highlight quarter 2 versus Swans, quarter 4 versus Freo, quarter 2 versus GWS, quarter 2 versus Eagles, quarter 3 versus Tigers, and added quarter 2 today.
Yeah, we'll trust you on that. We're not going to check that.
Yeah, no.
We're not going to check
There's a
that.
similar comment from Caitlin Stevens I'll get to too.
Yep.
I expect the blips to be stymied better with more maturity or experience. However, it starts with centre clearances, and Rob got a bit schooled in that 5 to 8 minute period.
He did.
Back to momentum, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where are we? And then Caitlin Stevens' comment, need to stop letting teams get out to leads like they did today. Find too much that we have to try and claw back the game. Second quarter was woeful and lost us the game like second quarter versus West Coast and third quarter versus Richmond. Give away too many silly frees, and at some points we were lucky not to give away 50s. Should have won today. Such a shame.
Yep.
Matt Talbot said you can beat the best sides but lose to the shittest ones. It's between the ears after 2 weeks off too, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I don't know how much the bye plays into it. I mean, a young team that week off might have done something in terms of momentum.
They
But
celebrated a bit too hard after the St Kilda win. you reckon?
maybe.
I think
you know?
generally you'll find that teams like us, it's not that they don't get up for the games like the ones on the weekend, but they do get up for the ones against
Where
the
they've got
top
nothing
teams
to
'cause,
lose.
yes, they don't have anything to lose. So, yeah.
Yep.
And then next thing you know, they find themselves in the game at halfway through the third quarter, and they're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, with a mountain to climb.
Yep. Jared Pridham, tell Ned McBloody Henry to stop giving away stupid free kicks, pretty please. Well, thank you so much for
They're
the...
pretty pleased.
Yeah.
Pleased.
We'll just write a kindly worded letter to Ned and just get him to stop giving away
Yeah.
free kicks.
Because he used his manners, we're going to angle for an interview with Ned and we're going to ask
I'm
him.
going to tell him. I'm going to grill him.
And we won't be that polite.
Heath Taylor said, rack this into the same category as the Pies and Hawks loss, and it's why we are where we are, not good enough.
Yeah.
They're not good enough, I don't really agree with. We didn't exactly expect to set the world on fire this year.
Yeah.
If you turn around, and sometimes they do this throughout the year, if the AFL turns around the results within 2 goals,
Oh, yeah.
the Crows would be top 8.
Yep.
Comfortably. I think we'd be 6th. I reckon.
We are
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
They did one the other day where it's like wins against top 8 teams.
Yes.
We're fifth.
We're 5th,
Ugh.
just
Home
below,
final.
just below Port.
Yep.
Who I didn't think they had beaten a top 8 side.
Sydney's
this
the
year,
only
but
top 8 side they've beaten, isn't it? Or
I
is that
think
just
so.
at the time of playing?
I think that's what it is. Yeah. But yes, I mean, if you measure the season by any other metric, it's actually been a weird sort of success for us. So
All right. 3 more, and then we're done. Love that the boys don't give up. This is from Scott Whitaker, but bloody hell, 1 or 2 less turnovers, please, lads. Other than that, I'm still happy with the direction the boys are going.
Again, good manners.
Really?
yeah.
Thank you so much for being so courteous.
Absolutely. We've got some really civil fans. It's
And what is
lovely.
going on here?
And it's not even after a
It's
win.
a weird week.
Yes. Everyone's fucked. Berry and Schoenberg are getting some impressive plays in now, and it's exciting to see. Tracy Loveridge, we were up against raging adrenaline from a team fighting to shut everybody up for a few days and gain a bit of respect back. Our inaccurate kicking in the first quarter was so frustrating and in the end cost us the game. We made the Blues look good. I guess the build-up to the game was Patrick Cripps re-signing last week. And
Don't get me started
all
on
the
Dwayne
pressure.
Russell.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Mate. Fucking perfect timing. James Payne. Can't say too much as I only had the game on in the background on mute because fuck Dwayne Russell.
Tick.
Big tick.
Second quarter was shit. Goal kicking was shit. Never ceases to amaze me how often we make ordinary teams look good.
It's going to be the year for it. We're
Yeah.
going to have the teams are going to find form against us.
Yeah. We're going to look back on this in 2 years. Touch wood.
Oh,
But we're going to look back on this in 2 years and realise that these close losses are a learning experience for a young team. And I have a breakdown of the number of games on average for each team. And so do all of you.
Is that on page 42 of our workbooks?
Yes, if you turn your page to the stats. No, you've gone past it.
Oh,
Top right-hand corner there.
bloody hell, mate.
This is what happens when Cream does the run sheet.
Cream does homework. Look at this.
So the Crows have 12 players in their team with less than 50 games.
Yep.
Just grin and bear it.
Exactly.
Supporters, I'm sorry, but this is what happens. Whereas Carlton have 4. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Yep. Twitter comments.
yep. We have got APR 23 saying Fogarty and McHenry's performance is disgraceful for mine. Put the tough guy stuff away and put your head over the ball. Both need to run in the 2s.
So, I mean, when Fogarty has a game like he did and then smashes into a bloke after he's taken a mark, well, we all know that's in his game. I can see where the bloke's coming from.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit unfair on Ned McHenry because we all know that's his game. He's an antagonizer and he's a workhorse.
But we'll get to potential inclusions for this week from that CSL performance.
Yes.
Jace at LUFC_20. It's amazing. Sorry about that. How I can't stand bets. Once you're out of that Crows Guernsey, you can get, in my opinion.
See, we've gone from all the manners on Facebook to Twitter.
Twitter animals.
Get Elodie in here. She'll be comparing the social media sites again.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Dave Carnivale, perfect example tonight of the importance of early scoreboard pressure. 0 goals, 6 before our first goal. Admire the fight back, but are doing it far too often due to hemorrhaging goals.
I mean, 0 goals, 6, that's some sort of pressure.
It's a dodo.
Oh, no, yeah, we did a team dodo.
A team dodo. Bloody hell.
He goes on to say forward structure didn't work tonight. Left the Thilthorpe move far too late.
Yeah, but it also... Didn't we have this earlier or like last season where we were just delivering it straight to Himmelberg or Frampton's foreheads and just commanding them to play better?
2 metres over the head of Lockie Murphy.
That's
was
exactly
more
right.
doing,
Yeah.
but-
So sometimes it's not the forward structure; it's the midfield entry, and I feel like we were smashed by a better midfield this week. Even though like we had some good midfield numbers, we weren't as effective with the ball out of the stoppages. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's completely the fault of an 18-year-old in Thilthorpe, but. Oh, I can see what he's saying, I guess. I don't know. I'll shut up.
Yeah.
No further questions, Your Honour.
Daniel Crawford says McAdam an issue. I think 8 disposals at 50% efficiency, which doesn't include dropped marks and fumbles in key moments. Then only one tackle. McAdam, McHenry, Berry, Hamill just can't carry them all. Fogarty only 3 touches but 2 goals. Just want to see him chase and crunch a few more tackles. No, the bit of issue with the words here. No, they have different roles, but all need to bring pressure and just not doing it. Can carry 1 or 2, but not all 4.
Well, should we bring in this bloke, Oliver Davis? 6 tackles on the weekend. Game high in that NFL.
We'll get his stats out of the way now before we touch on him. But he's that Tasmanian kid that they brought over in the middle of the year, real young bloke. The nicest kid you'll ever meet too. Yep. I met him going back a few weeks ago. And yeah, it was his breakout game on the weekend.
But he's not AFL listed. We brought him over with the intent of picking him up in the mid-season draft.
Yes.
He can't play in the AFL team.
I don't know. They'll find a way.
Lleyton.
They'll find a way. I don't know.
But also, sorry, can I just, on that comment, who do we bring in then? Like, we can't keep carrying the kids that he just mentioned. So what do you want to do? Drop him and bring in what senior players?
Matty Wright.
Bring in
Yes, Matty Wright.
Lastly, here we have got G and Delane at Gablord saying, not terrible, but we need Talia in there ASAP as some real experience down back. Butts is getting better every week, but still getting completely rinsed at times. And I do agree with that one.
Yes, we do need Talia. Speaking of him, is there any news on his contract?
We're going to touch on that later because we've got a whole bunch of stuff to get through.
Oh, God.
And that's it from Twitter.
Yep. I was actually going to try and manufacture seatbelts for these chairs just for tonight's pods.
Strap yourselves in, boys.
F1 style.
Yes. All right.
What's next then? If there's so much to
next
come.
up, we've got the Crom Junior.
Oh.
We just touched on Oliver Davis, obviously.
We won.
Yes, they won.
In a tough game against the Bloods. Don't know if you saw the scores at quarter time. It was 7 goals to 1.
Yeah, what
Was
did you
there a
thought this would be
breeze or what's
contest?
going on in there?
Who knows?
Yeah, there was 12-goal breeze to one end.
The Crows ended up winning 14 goals, 10-94 to 9 goals, 4-58 in a convincing 6-goal win.
Good on them. Great.
We obviously touched on Oliver Davis.
Yes.
And the big bad bustling Billy Canary Yellow BT1
Kicked 3 goals, 3 with 12 marks.
12 marks.
If
Good
you
effort.
do not mind.
I wouldn't mind him coming in for Fogarty, to be honest, this week.
It's not
Even
a bad
for a
shout.
couple of weeks.
It's not a bad
Just give
call.
Fogarty a rest.
Yep.
Yeah.
He has played, 4 or 5 in a row now.
Yeah. I think he's strung the most amount of games together in his AFL career currently, Fogarty. And considering we're building him up to be a key forward, not a bad thing. Let him recharge a bit.
Yeah.
Plus, with numbers like that, like he's just sort of kicking the door in.
And the ultimate non-answer this year, the little brother of Frampton at the moment, because he got, instead of 3 goals 3, he got 2 goals 2.
My
and
God.
So is he
7 marks for Himmelberg.
Is he like a Barina hatchback or something? If we're comparing to the...
Yeah. Slightly lower model.
Yes. Yeah.
With a racing stripe.
But he,
With a spoiler.
but he takes care of it. Yeah.
And a no fear sticker.
Yes. I was going to say, what kind of stickers on there?
Love it.
So, Parnell.
Mm.
He is the one that we did pick up in the mid-season draft.
Number 51. Gotta love to see the high numbers.
Now, I've just written here, Parnell looks like a decent pickup, so he must have decent stats. Who wants to read them out?
20 touches, 11 kicks, 9 handballs, 2 marks, and 2 tackles. Solid effort for coming over
Second game? Second game? Third game?
Second game at this
Second,
level.
yeah.
a few weeks in Adelaide from Sydney. So
And he's a
Settling
whippet.
in.
He is a whip. He's minute. He probably won't be able to play AFL for a couple of yees because he will be broken.
Yeah.
You know, like someone will just snap him in half over his
thinner
knee.
than Golan, I think.
Yeah, he is. He's
You can imagine him just at AFL level. Someone tackles him and they've just gone up. I've broken him. Yeah. Someone come get him. He's broken.
You know, in cartoons where you see, like, I think it was in Angry Beavers, they play American football and they get smashed up and there's just a tangle of limbs, like they're just tied in a knot, and then the short ambulance comes tearing out in the field and carries him off. That'd be Parnell first time. He'll just have like legs and arms at right angles after first tackle. You know? I hope not, but yeah, he is small, is what I'm trying to say.
And Josh Worrell.
Mm.
Damon, what were his stats?
23 disposals, 13 kicks, 10 handballs, 8 marks.
Yeah.
8 marks.
great effort. Even though he was dropped, I'm
Yep.
glad he got a game and not was an emergency for last weekend.
And to perform and be right up there.
Yep.
When it can be very obviously demoralising to be dropped after your first game.
Yep.
Particularly when you win.
Yeah. Well, with the potential sort of force change if Sloan goes under the knife, would it be Worrell that comes in for him?
I don't know.
Or would it be
gotta be
You need
Haley.
more around the ball.
Yeah.
Haley?
I want to
think-
see Haley come in, yeah. And
I want to see Pedler come in.
Yeah. I think either of those two.
Someone will
will be
come in.
Actually, looking at Haley's stats, I'm not sure if he is the one to come in. 10 disposals, 8 kicks, 1 mark, 2 handballs, 2 tackles.
It's the curse of the number 6, isn't it?
It is.
Mudra.
Zero clearances in that as well.
All right.
I don't know.
Well, first things first, we are going to get to a few more questions from our Facebook community on the video that Damon put out a while ago.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, I'll fire them off.
Got him?
Yep. Right here. Daniel Venables. Oh, no. See, this ties on. These all tie into later segments.
We'll just talk about them now.
Yeah, fuck it. Okay. Daniel Venables, keen to know thoughts on possibly trading up for Jason Horn.
Yes. But
That sounds nice in theory.
it's
The Crows are currently where on the ladder?
where are we?
15.
Too high.
Too high.
We're too high for Horn.
Yeah.
I got it right here. So they are currently 14th. So they currently have pick 5. However, they're only 1 win ahead of 17th. Collingwood, Gold Coast, and Hawthorn all on 4 wins.
So what
if
you're
we
saying
lose-
is-
if they all win one more game
Yeah.
and we throw one,
So
by a lot,
Tanking for Horn.
we can take him.
We're gonna have to throw a lot more than those games though, because we're gonna have to finish. Well,
Actually, yeah.
it's the race to the bottom, 2021.
With
Part 2.
with all the stuff that's come out in the last few weeks, Jason Horn might end up going 3rd in the draft, and we will explain that later.
Absolutely. We're gonna just confirm this. We'll do another draft spotlight episode coming up.
On the very back page,
Look on
you
your
will
run
see
sheet.
there is some research
look at
done.
this.
Can I be Gill again, closer to the night, when we do a...
Sorry, the second to last page.
What page? Like 42
Second
or
to last
36?
page,
Where are we?
39.
Oh God, I've got to readjust. Seriously, it's
And
ladies
we're going
gentlemen,
to talk about a few of the upcoming Adelaide boys
there's a few good ones.
and their stats. But
Yep.
in a dream world, we would get Jason Horn, but it's just not realistic.
It's really not.
I don't think the Crows want to put all their eggs in that basket either.
No, nor should we.
What's the next comment, Green?
Scott Whitaker. Gotta love the way Talia is handling the contract talks, lads. Hope that makes it into the pod. Love your work. We do actually have that as a dot point here.
Yeah.
He did come out and make some comments, and Ben is getting them.
I certainly am. Thank you to sen.com.au. Assuming that might have been in a radio segment this morning as it loads up. Daniel Talia says he is fully committed to Adelaide in what has been a very frustrating year for the out-of-contract defender. Serious foot injury has sidelined Talia for the entirety of the 2021 season so far. Adelaide coach Matthew Nixon, the club's hierarchy, want to see the 29-year-old return to full fitness before the season's out.
This is a classic article saying all the obvious things before it comes to the me.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's it. There's a great big butt hanging over this whole thing.
And then Matty Nix came out last Friday and said, I'm not going to come out and say they have to play football this season for them to be at the footy club going forward. That's not the case, but it is factored into the conversation at this point. We want to see and make sure that Daniel, first and foremost, knows that he's still able to play at the level. We're in a rebuild mode, and that certainly comes into it as well.
I did see, I can't remember where I saw this or who I was talking to this about, but Daniel Talia going to Gold Coast.
There's been a few rumours around. The press box sort of floated a couple of weeks ago. They even mentioned, because he's an unrestricted free agent.
Yes.
So I guess it comes up to, do the Crows, if he gets an offer to go somewhere else to play one more year of footy, do the Crows step in knowing that he will essentially take the spot of a Mackesy, a Worrell, a Murray in developing within the senior team?
and matching it for more money than
Well,
the
that's
Crows
it,
would
yeah.
probably
So-
be willing to pay him as he declines in it.
The Gold Coast would be stupid if they're not going to throw him a Godfather offer, because if he can put 2 good years of footy in for them, what he brings off field in terms of his leadership, his commitment to training, his standards, that's what they're lacking at the moment.
Let's talk money. How much do you think he would be on with the Crows?
6.
Yeah, I'd say 6 comfortably.
I think if Gold Coast offered him 7,
Mhm.
hypothetically, if he is on 6, I think if Gold Coast offered him an extra $100,000
Over
for
2
years,
Yeah.
Crows would not match it.
No.
But I don't think he would go there for $100,000. I think like if Gold Coast offered him $200,000 extra over 2 years, he'd probably go. But
Then you start wondering, like why are Gold Coast throwing the kitchen sink at an aging fullback
who's
with
missed this entire year?
Have you
Yep.
seen their finals record?
Good point. No, I haven't, because
They
it
don't
doesn't
have one.
exist.
Exactly. Exactly.
Got some more quotations here from Daniel Charlie. So we've got the club and I are talking, and they know I'm doing everything I can to support the group and try and get back to play.
It'll be hard doing it from Adelaide when they're in Melbourne.
Yeah,
That's true. Zoom or something. I've just got to be professional about how I go about it and give everything I've got to try and get back to show them I want to be there next year. I think from my point of view, it's important for everyone to hear that I'm really committed to the club. In these chats behind the scenes, the club know exactly where I sit in terms of wanting to be here next year. I'm committed to the club, and we'll see how it goes in the second half of the season. So I don't think he wants to go.
No, reading that, it doesn't sound like it, but whether or not he sort of gets pushed into it would be my worry. Yeah.
All right. What is next?
Next up, we have comments from Matt Rendell, Adelaide's former list manager.
He didn't comment on my video before, did he?
No, he didn't. But this is another one of our dot
I got
points.
very excited there. Like, wow, Matt Rendell's paying attention to us.
He was talking about Matt Crouch earlier today and
Ah,
what
yeah.
the Crows should do with him. And here's what he had to say.
And what do you do with him? Oh, I trade Matt Crouch because next year I've got Pedler, Millerer and Schoenberg moving into that midfield, and you're still going to have Sloan. Hey, Sharks.
So, yeah, okay. While I try and shut up that video.
Yeah.
That's what Rendell had to say today. And I think we've been saying it for a while. I don't think there's any need to have Matt Crouch around next year. What do the rest of us think on the table?
And I think the one thing I'll say to that is, I mean, I completely agree, but
Yes.
he is a restricted free agent.
Right.
So do we go down the road where we kind of flirted with this with his brother last year before he was allegedly caught with a illegal substance,
Allegedly.
where it looked for all money that we were going to match whatever offer came up and then force a trade. And then we end up just letting him go because we had to, basically. Do we match whatever offer comes for Matt and then force a trade out of that? Or do we just let him walk and take whatever compensation we get? I think is how I would reframe that question.
I would do the first option and match it and try and get a better trade out of it.
But what value does he hold, having not played this year? That's
the
anything.
problem.
This is it, isn't
the
it?
fact that he hasn't played this
But
year,
he's got a gold jacket.
will it diminish his value? Yeah.
So did his
And
brother.
an All-Australian. Did he go make All-Australian a couple of years ago?
Sure.
Or squad, at least squad.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think a couple of years
40.
ago.
Had to have.
That feels right, yeah.
But in terms of consistency before this year, over a number of years, it would be there.
Yeah.
You wonder what his value would be, like in terms of our compensation pick, what we would get. You would think a Victorian
Pick two or
club
bust.
will offer him, I would like to say, 750, 800.
So there's a club that I can't believe did not go hard for his brother last year.
North Melbourne?
Well, Geelong.
Yes.
Geelong's got an aging midfield, and he would slot straight in, behind Dangerfield without
Salary.
Ablett there. Salary would be the one
Yeah.
issue. You're right, because they run that risk of just sort of, but they always find a way. Geelong always seem to find a way to get these blokes into their team. But North Melbourne, 100%, young team, up and coming midfield. He'd walk into that team. Of course
Reports
he
have come out today that they're willing to offer, mind you, this is from Tom Brown, so take this for what it's
Jesus.
worth, fucking peanut.
Yep.
But 1.1 over 8 years to Josh Kelly, again, who's out of contract with Giants at the end of the year. So it'll be interesting to see this time around if Josh Kelly goes there, because GWS aren't
We're going to go
much
through
job.
that saga again.
Yep.
Seriously.
Yep.
It feels like we just finished that whole Josh Kelly thing.
But we'll just go around in a circle. Do you think we need Matt Crouch in the team next year, Ben?
No.
Lleyton?
Probably, generally no, but
I know.
I
Yes
think
or no here.
All right,
Stop
no.
sitting on the fence. Damon?
No.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yep.
So I think it's a general consensus.
As long as Rory Sloane's fit.
Even then, I'd say ship him
No.
off.
Yeah, no.
We need to start giving more opportunity to youngsters. I
Rebirth.
reckon.
Rebirth.
That, and if we want any chance of moving up the order to get Horn, we need some top 10 draft picks. We need serious compensation from Matt Crouch, and we need to be willing to trade up.
Yes.
yes.
Agreed.
Good.
Okay. Let's go around the grounds from last week's games. If you please flick to page 97 of your
Jesus.
run sheet.
Right, listeners, you think he's kidding?
No, trust me, I'm not kidding. So, we had first game of the round, Brisbane against Geelong.
Oh, that was good to see.
What
Cowboys
a
lose.
game. Don't you love seeing Geelong lose in prime time football?
At the Gabba.
Yeah.
Flashbacks to the grand final.
And shout out, did anyone see that photo of Charlie Cameron in the middle of a melee just smiling as he's getting grabbed by the neck? I fucking love that. But
What do you think he's thinking in that moment?
Yeah. Oh, he's like,
Look at me, Mum, I'm on TV.
Yeah.
That's what he's thinking.
Yeah. But Geelong were very bad.
Yeah.
Is this the Lions sort of really putting their flag in the ground and going, we're flag contenders?
The Lions are the most consistent team in the competition.
Yeah.
Including the Bulldogs.
It's the only team you can
Since
trust.
round 3. I think they had a slow start to the year, but ever since round 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're building a good season. Most likely finish top 4. Most likely
And let's not forget
peak
they
in the
should've-
finals, I think,
Yeah, well,
after
that-
a few years of sort of plateauing in the finals.
Well, this is the thing. They look like they haven't hit their peak yet.
Yeah.
So they're absolutely ramping up the right time of year.
And let's be honest, they should have beaten Geelong down in Geelong too.
Yep.
When Bailey got blitzed up holding the ball on the line.
don't
Yes.
Tell me.
Yeah. All right. Next up, another one. The other grand finalist from last year got belted too.
Oh, another great watch.
What is going on here? Dream weekend. Until the Crows game.
Yeah.
St Kilda got up by 40 points and watched what was a really shit game
Yeah.
to watch in
I think
terms of like scoring output, but just pleasing because Richmond got belted.
But we learn nothing from this game.
No.
Absolutely nothing. Tigers aren't as good as they used to be. Saints
And
still
Bolter
up.
goes down
Yeah.
with a serious injury.
Yeah. That's going to be a concern.
Dusty becomes the first person to have more Norm Smiths than goals kicked for that team.
Yeah, best start of the weekend by far.
Yes. And St Kilda, okay, they won this game, but
No.
I can't see them making finals.
They're still not that
Nah.
good.
Nah.
No. So this game could have not been played. They could have just decided this beforehand. And
I think this says more about how average Richmond are at the moment than how good St Kilda are.
They do look a bit scared in 8th at the moment on the ladder. Richmond.
Yes.
Well, no one underneath them wants to take the spot, though. That's the only problem.
What did we say last week, though? There is a team that looks like they could steal that from
Bomb.
them. The Bombers.
Up the bomb.
Up the bomb.
We'll talk about them. Collingwood went down to Freo in which was the most confusing game of the weekend for mine.
Was
The
it?
first 3 quarters were rubbish.
Were you like, why are Port Adelaide playing against Freo?
Yeah. But then in the last quarter, this was one of the best games of the year. It's like both teams knew they had to win. And all of a sudden, Collingwood stopped kicking backwards.
Braden Maynard somehow gave away a free kick for a front-on position when he didn't even touch the other player.
Don't get me started. Next up, North Melbourne beat Gold Coast. And
Who watched this?
nah.
I followed the scores for the purposes of a multi, but that was about it.
But I know this isn't a Gold Coast podcast, but let's touch on Gold Coast quickly. Where are they? What are they?
They're in the Gold Coast at the moment, but they might be moved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
They
is
are-
this the end for Stewie Jute?
Oh, I hope not. I really
I
hope-
don't think so.
He's had so much time. Like,
Yeah.
how much time do you need with a football club?
He's a better coach than they're churning out at the moment. Surely. Do you know, like
You'd
surely
hope so.
he's well. The problem is that he's got a bunch of private schoolboy captains that aren't that good at playing as a unit, and there's no real belief around the whole organization from anywhere. So no, I don't know. I genuinely don't know what to do with Gold Coast anymore. They're costing everyone too much money. No one wants to watch them. Who gives a rat's?
It just seems like a black hole to me.
Yeah.
I just don't care about them enough to
Well, it's been 10 years now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it last week that Cochrane came out and said that Tasmania don't deserve a team, and then they go down to Tasmania and dish up that?
Yeah. What an absolute tosser.
Yeah. In saying that, at least we know kangaroos can win games in in Tasmania.
It's true. For when they get relocated.
Yeah. Port got up in which was a pretty
Great
entertaining game.
Yeah.
Buddy's back.
Yeah, he is.
Well, for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we're going to get to see him kick 1,000 goals.
Yeah.
That'll be good to see. Scotty Lycett kicking that game winner.
Oh,
That was a fucking kick and a half from a ruckman.
standing still.
Give Riley O'Brien a couple of tips.
No, jeez.
How was that shot for goal early in the game?
I just had an image of Riley O'Brien trying the exact same kick.
Yeah.
Jeez, I just dreamt about a giraffe. Oh, no, that was Rob.
Next up, we had, this game was probably the most entertaining game of the round for mine, Essendon and Melbourne. Now, we touched on Essendon potentially making the 8.
Mhm.
Essendon are a good team.
Much better team than we all thought they would be.
Essendon are a better team than some of the teams in the top 8 at the moment. I'll say
Like
that
Sydney,
right
its form at the moment is not great compared to the Bombers.
They're better than Richmond. I think they're playing better
Yes,
footy than
same
Richmond
here.
right now.
Yeah.
Well, it's scored more than 2 goals.
Yeah, so it's not hard.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved in this game Christian Petrarca giving it to the bloke in the front
Yes.
row. That was my favourite moment of the whole
I
weekend.
missed
Yeah.
this completely. I didn't see the game.
Some guys heckling him
Yeah.
over the fence as he's walking in. And you just love it. Just watching someone give it back.
Yeah.
Just sort of got up and sort of pointed the finger towards him, and the guy got up all offended as if it was the worst thing to ever happen in the world. Christian Petrarca just gave him away.
Excellent.
I think when he kicked the goal, he put the hand behind the ear, kind of
Rat style.
Sorry, what was that? You fucking peanut.
Rory Atkins style from the showdown in 2016.
Yeah.
It looks a lot better on Petrarca, I bet, than Atkins.
I don't know.
Now, while we talk about basket case expansion teams, Hawthorn defeated the Giants, who just cannot play football at the MCG. It seems by 3 goals.
They're still traumatised from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a mental demon there, I wonder?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you're right, they've just not turned up ever since.
They were right in the game at 3/4 time.
They were.
They cut it from 30 points back to a goal, I think it was, and then just fell apart.
They'll have a change of coach.
And what do you think about
Have to.
Burgoyne playing his 399th game as this injury sub?
But not really having the game as the sub. I think he came on in the first quarter, didn't he?
No,
last
no,
quarter.
No. Last quarter. Yeah,
Last quarter?
I think.
So does that count?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it counts even if he
Even
doesn't
if you
come on the
don't
field.
play. Yeah.
Well, Bugger, nursed him through to 500 games that way. Who cares? They found a loophole.
Jeez.
Well, Clarko did say he's the best sub to have because he's essentially played every position on the ground except for in the ruck.
Yeah.
And even then, back in the day, he probably could have done that like Sean Grigg did for Richmond too.
That's very true.
But I was convinced that Leon Cameron was going to be sacked this week. Like,
I think he's just hiding. Like,
I don't know what is going. Like,
I don't think they even
covered it
realise
up
he's still
for-
there.
Yeah, we thought we got rid of you 6 months ago.
So did Peter. He predicted this last year.
Yeah.
When they do sack him, Pete's going to come in here with a parade. He's going to be like, there's
Head
going
will
to
be blowing up
trumpets,
like a
confetti, and a banner's going to fall from the ceiling.
Then it's
There'll
going to
be
be like, he's gone.
But there'll be a date written on it, just crossed out in crayon, and then another one written there. That one's crossed out, and then another one written next to it.
There will be a big sound, put it that way.
Coming out of Pete's house.
Now, next up, we have my premiership favourites at the moment. The Bulldogs getting up in Perth over West Coast by 55 points.
So this was supposed to be the game of the round.
Mm-hmm.
There were supposed to be fans there, and the Eagles don't know how to play without fans.
Yeah, they announced the morning of the game that there weren't going to be any fans.
That's rough.
Yeah.
And Marcus Bontempelli put one hand around the Brownlow on the weekend.
Yeah, 29 touches, 3
mate.
goals.
That goal from the boundary.
Yeah, he'd be pole position.
Yep.
Have to be. And it's
Gamble
amazing.
responsibly, but get on it.
It's amazing considering who he's got taking votes off him, but I just can't see anyone else that really stands out. Darcy Parish will be around the mark, maybe. But
Do you remember when the Bulldogs won the flag a few years ago?
I do.
And everyone just sort of thought, oh, well, that's a bit of a blip. Like, they just didn't back it up afterwards.
That was one of my favourite days, actually.
Yeah?
Story time with Cream.
Oh, here we go.
I was over in
It's not Creamy's calls. It's
I was over
Creamy's
in
Creamy's tells.
I was over in Whistler, and living there for a bit, and the grand final was on, and I put $20 on Jason Johannesson before the game to win the Norm Smith.
No.
At 34-1.
No.
So it was a very good day indeed.
It sounds it. Yeah.
But all I can remember from that day is BT being like, he's kicked it. Oh, fuck! Lynn Boyd bombs it from inside the centre square.
I remember that.
Well, chuck 20 on Bontempelli for the Brownlow, and you're not getting anywhere near the $34 odds there. Crunched into $2.80.
There you go.
No, I'll do it now. It's never going to be better value than
Yeah.
now.
It's only shortening.
Gamble responsibly.
And that was it because the last game of the round was ours.
Yep.
Okay.
So, what's next?
Beryl and Cecil of the
here
week.
we go.
Now, who wants to get that up?
There's a couple.
There's always multiple, isn't there?
Yep.
It's been a good week for him.
I like hearing Ben read them out.
Yeah.
He's got a good voice for it.
All right. Where are we? Where do we start? Thank you to Shahin for sending this one as well, if I can just find it.
What we'll do is we will start playing the music.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll start with the one that Shahin didn't send in. And this one wasn't quite as bad as the one that Shahin did send in, but we had Lindy on Twitter today in response to Warren Tredrea breaking the news that we would be flown to Melbourne, obviously pre-finding out that we might still be playing here in Adelaide. She said it's not fair. We had a home game. Bullshit, no lockdown in Adelaide. I give up. Do we get a refund on tickets that we brought or what? Even though no tickets were sold just about yet. So that one.
Just calm down.
Yeah.
Just pull up.
Just take a chill pill. Yeah. It's all right. Yeah.
It'll get sorted.
And then the best one of the week, Shahin sent in. And it's almost up there for the year, really. Beryl and Cecil of the year. We've had a couple in a couple of weeks. We've got Sean here who said they run hundreds of kilometres in training and then go out and jog at the best for most of the game. Lol. Poor coaching. Let the supporters vote on an app for changes during a game and we would have won that match.
Imagine the suggestions coming in during the game.
Oh, yeah. I'd be kicked off for spamming Chris Judd in his prime and putting that up as an
Just
option
put
everywhere.
Go Crom. You just see in the corner of the coach's box of the game. They're not even looking at the screen.
We would just be spamming Go Crom and 119 over and over again.
Some supporters would drag 10 blokes off the field, out of the team by quarter time, so the Crows are only left with fucking 12 players for 3/4 of the game.
That's it. We'll say, bring on Tyson Edwards.
They'd start rage quitting. Get him off. Get him off. Send him on.
Sean goes on to say that we would have won the Thilthorpe matchup with Liam Jones. Apparently, us moving him around would have won the matchup. Okay. Not sure about that one. Also says defence positions in the second quarter, we would have fixed that. And Schellenberg to the centre earlier. We would have fixed that as well. You know, give us control. Get us this app going.
This guy really has heard the term armchair expert.
And he said, I'm going to take this to a whole nother level.
Well, he's read too far into the expert bit, not the armchair bit. Calm down, champion.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like it.
So that's up there, I think. Probably one of the best of the year.
Should we donate this bloke $50 to go towards this app?
Get it developed.
Get it done.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll back it.
Okay. Next up, we have Draft Watch.
Hey.
Now,
everybody's favourite segment.
Yep. Now, obviously, you're going to be hearing in the second half of this year, leading up to the draft, about the top picks, who your team's going to get, how many points your team has, what picks they have to pick with, all of it. We have highlighted a few of the Adelaide boys who are currently expected to, in some circles, or have been since the end of last year's draft. Okay, well, we've already touched on Jason Horn as the potential top pick. Potential top pick is 184 centimetres, 78 kilo midfielder who's playing seniors for South Adelaide. Now, obviously, it's a lot harder. His stats are going to seem less impressive than the rest of the kids on this list, but he is playing senior football at SANFL level.
Yeah, and how old is he?
18 years old.
18. And he was playing seniors for the end of last year as well. So he was playing seniors at the age of 17.
Yeah.
This kid's good.
So the fact that he's playing with the biggest bodies he possibly can is only going to help him in the long run. And he has averaged 15 touches, 4 tackles, 4 marks, 3 clearances, and 3 inside 50s over 10 games this year. All right. Who wants to take the next one?
Well, he's one of my boys from North Adelaide, Hugh Jackson.
He's also out of Ross Trevor College.
Up the rocks. Good name.
Yep.
I like a good abbreviation that then becomes a good name.
Yes.
Like rocks. It's
Yep.
good. So Hugh Jackson, he is a 181 centimetre, 70 kilo midfielder out of the Rocks.
Yep.
He had a career best performance against Sturt with 41 touches, if you don't mind, 5 marks, 3 tackles, 12 clearances, 11 inside 50s.
That's a good game.
Very well.
Solid.
He's also averaging 34 touches, 7 marks, 4 tackles, 5.5 clearances, and 6 inside 50s.
We'll take that.
Absolutely, this kid's on an absolute tear, and he's moving up most people's rankings. At the moment,
I
so
think
a bit of a
he's
bolter.
I think he's up. I think he's up between 5 and 15.
Yep.
From what I saw last. So reminds you a lot of the kind of numbers that Tom Powell was putting up last year for Sturt, and he ended up going to North Melbourne with pick 13.
Yeah.
Obviously in last
And
year.
I still think he slid in that draft. I would have taken him earlier in that, but there you go.
All right.
Next we have Matthew Roberts, who I haven't heard about until now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, mate. See, Cream, you and I are the draft nerds, and we forget that people just don't pour hours into reading about the names of 18-year-olds, you know?
But I'll tell you about him. He is,
Please do.
I can't wait. Here's some info I prepared earlier about a guy who I've never heard of.
he's a potential first-round pick out of South Adelaide.
Mm-hmm.
He's played both in under-18s and senior level. Another midfielder at 183 centimetres and 81 kilos. Averages in under-18s are 32 touches, 6 clearances, 7.7 inside 50s, 8 marks, over 7 tackles, and 5 rebound 50s per game.
Unreal. Now, this guy recently also got injured.
Yep.
So there's a very
Did
good
he?
chance. Yeah, so he'll be one of these along with someone else who I think we'll mention later who is going to slide a little bit in the draft because of that injury.
Slide down to Adelaide.
Possibly, hopefully.
Yeah.
Considering we've got... What picks have we got? We're going to have pick 5 and then we've
We
got
talked
another
about
first
this.
round,
We need to tank games
That's yes.
to get these guys.
Yeah.
But a bloke called, some of you may not know him, his name is Nightmare with a K in front of it.
That's a great name.
Yep. He writes for ESPN, but he brought out an article on the 4th of May this year, focused purely on this kid, saying he solidified his top 10 draft billing against South Adelaide in a 56-point win with 34 touches, 8 marks, 9 tackles, 8 clearances, 10 inside 50s, and 3 goals. And he compares him to Dane Beams.
Kid can play.
Yeah. So he's
That's your
another one.
takeout from it. He can play.
If there's anything you take out of this, just know that he can play.
Yeah. And the next one is Benny's turn.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm looking at Lewis Rayson, who is the 181 centimetre, 74 kilo half black flanker who's been spending a bit of his time in the middle this year through Glenelg's under 18 season.
Up the base.
Up the base.
Absolutely,
I
up
think
the base.
I think he was tipped as a top 15 pick after the draft last year.
Yep.
Yeah. That was the next line in the info here.
Yep.
So yeah, touted as a first round pick before.
Thank you very much. It's almost like I knew it.
He's consistently in Glenelg's best and currently averaging 28 touches at 87% with 7 marks, 3 tackles, 4 inside 50s and 2 clearances, which should grow given he's spending a little bit more time in the guts this year. So
87% is a good rate.
Yep. For
Cheers.
that age.
Yep.
It's huge.
And last but not least, I've got another South Adelaide kid. They're fucking popping them out like... I got nothing.
We all waited. Everyone sat
They're
back.
going to
and
start
just went,
calling South Adelaide a football factory. Next thing you know, it's going to be like the fucking Geelong Falcons.
Ooh, good
or the
football
Murray
factory.
Bush Rangers or
Calder
all of them.
Cannons.
Yeah,
Yep.
Sandringham Dragons.
all of those are good
all
football
of them.
factories.
Because they're all from Melbourne. Yeah, he's also from South Adelaide. He did play their first 8 games this year in the under-18s, but he has played a couple in the Resies because he was picking on kids. He's averaging 24 touches, 6.6 clearances, 4 inside 50s, 4 marks and 5 tackles in the under-18s. And he's played 2 games in the Resies, averaging 16 touches, 5 tackles, 4 clearances and 2 inside 50s. He's 185 and 71. So they're all pretty much exactly the same
I was
size.
going to say, yeah.
Yep.
The lack of key position players this year will be interesting.
And
I'm
it's
glad we got Phil Thorpe there.
Yep.
very much so. But it's also slightly concerning for Adelaide when you look at where's probably our greatest need in terms of young talent coming through.
Yep.
Would be ruck and probably another tall back.
Yep.
I would say so. There's
I'll be
probably not.
amazed if none of these kids, if one of these kids don't get drafted. Let's put it that way.
Oh, but all four of these are going.
Yeah.
The interesting bit is going to be because Horn is by a street, heads and shoulders over these guys.
If I had to
The
say
others.
it right now, the reason that I touched on before that he'll go third, would be because Luke Darcy's kid, Sam Darcy, has out of nowhere skyrocketed to a top 1 pick selection because he's kicking 6 goals and just kicking bags.
Over 200 centimetres
And
at
he's still
17
like
years
his old
old.
man. The problem is they just picked up a key full forward in the draft with pick 1 this year.
But if you keep hearing the jungle drums around Jamara Ugle-Hagen,
Yeah, I know.
Kane Corns reckons he's going to get traded to Hawthorn or something stupid.
We touched on this last week or
Didn't
the
we?
week before.
Leave the kid alone. Let him play.
And he was saying, what if they trade him for Denver Granger Barris, who they took with pick 5?
If we're playing, I think I even retweeted this.
After he played one game, he debuted on the weekend and he got knocked out.
This is not FIFA career mode. You can't just put a bloke up for sale and just hope someone picks him up.
Yeah.
Like, Denver Granger Barras has the right to say, no, I think I'll stay at the club I've just been picked up for.
Yep.
It's moronic. But so Horn, who was looking at a clear-cut number 1, now you got Dacos.
Yeah,
Collingwood's
and Darcy.
Collingwood's going to have to match for him, which will still be interesting.
I think they're both going to get matched, and then Horn will end up being the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Well, number 3 pick.
By default.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
So he'll still end up in North Melbourne, we reckon. Do you reckon the Bulldogs will match Darcy? You sort of can't not if you're them. Like, son of a gun, favourite son of the club.
And Luke Darcy's on the board. Like he's back there in a professional capacity now. Like he's pretty heavily involved. And I guess
is it all about the points?
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, I don't know
what
what
have
their
they
draft hand is. Collingwood's going to struggle. They're going to have to go into a draft deficit next year.
Yeah,
unless they trade out heavily this year, which they might still do.
Yeah, if Darcy's anything like his old man though, and he can play ruck, then there's the difference between him and Ugle-Hagen.
Yep.
And if for whatever reason the Bulldogs don't see Tim English staying long term, or he gets lured back to Western Australia to play for West Coast when Nat Nui retires or something, who knows, then you'd just be better off getting him.
You just draft the best talent.
Yeah.
Especially if the Bulldogs go on and win the flag this year.
Yeah.
And also just by having a father-son get the second best kid in this year's draft.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? It's a bonus.
Yep.
So
agreed.
That was Draft Watch.
That was Draft Watch.
Well, just quickly, like I'll pitch this mostly at you, Cream, but
Yes.
you boys, like from what you've read from here and what you know, if Adelaide end up with pick 5, who of this crop would you like to see come to the club? Who excites you just purely based on the numbers?
I'd just like to give him the nickname The Greatest Showman, so I'd go Hugh Jackson.
Like it. Yeah. Let's move on. That's the answer.
shows my knowledge of the draft.
Enough said.
Jesus.
Love it.
Okay.
Round 16 against the Lions.
Yes, I have attached for those who are into The Simpsons, a meme of Ralph chuckling on the bus saying he's in danger.
Indeed.
Yeah, we're versing the Lions after they smashed Geelong.
Yeah.
Good time to get them.
Is it?
No.
Yeah, they're on a high. Yeah, they're on a high. We'll just bring him back down.
Absolutely.
Back down to Victoria.
At an oval somewhere in Australia.
Somewhere.
Well, feel for Lions because they may end up flying down to Melbourne and then flying across to Adelaide at a moment's notice as
Feel
well.
for Jared Lions or the Lions?
Both.
Well, don't feel for Jared Lyons because he just signed a 3-year contract today, so he's capped up.
Good on him.
And you know what? Yeah, I'm going to give it a round of applause because
Yeah.
he's a good Adelaide boy.
Absolutely.
Well deserved.
Gold Coast, what were you thinking?
Very much like Ben Keys. I think they'll always be spoken about together, at least for Crows supporters, given he went there from us and and they dropped him and we got him, and they've both been able to reinvent themselves.
Absolutely.
Although Lyons was never a bad player in the first place. But
Yeah.
Changes.
Sloan out. Force change.
For who? I want to say Pedler, so I'm going to say Pedler.
We both said Jackson Hadley earlier, didn't we?
But
After
based on
checking
his
the
form,
stats, so I'm going to go Pedler.
Yeah. I'm going to stick with Hadley just because I think he brings more of what Sloan brings. Not in terms of leadership, obviously, but in terms of positioning, and could probably also go forward and do a role. And he's got a bit of body work behind him. I think he's sort of next in the rack, next
Yeah.
two in the rack. Lleyton, who would you bring in?
Parnell, chuck him in.
Yeah,
Why
give him a
not?
go. See him get broken.
I was going to say, snapped in half.
Like a spaghetti.
Like a twig.
Yeah.
Like a dry twig on the ground is just going to get run over.
Yep. Good. And will that be the only change? I could see us making a change
I
up
think,
forward.
yeah, Frampton in for Fogarty.
Since you've said that, I'm on board.
You have to reward a game like that.
Yeah.
3
Yes.
goals, 3 and 12 marks is just a massive effort.
And should we not forget about McAdam? Or should we leave him?
I don't know. I've settled on McAdam just being mediocre
Yeah.
at this
Right.
point. He's just not even in my thought process.
He's just not even out in the park.
He's just like, like he's average.
But do you want a new player? Do you want new church?
Yeah, sure, because he's average.
Well, because this is it. He's not bashing the door down right now for selection. And I think what's keeping McAdam in the team is that there really isn't, apart from Frampton,
Yeah.
a forward really staking their claim to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So until Murphy's fully fighting
That's the
fit,
thing. If Murphy was fit, I would be dropping.
He played on
He
the
He did
weekend.
play on the weekend.
He did. How did he do?
He keeps 1 point.
Okay.
But I think he did
It
other
was a
things.
valuable
he did
point,
He
yeah.
did other things.
They only
He
would have
had-
won by 35 without.
15 touches, 10 kicks.
How many tackles?
4.
See, that's what
Okay.
he's in the team for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's still a decent enough game without.
Give him another week in the
Set it
twos,
on
though, I
fire.
think. Like, let's not
Yeah.
rush Murphy back.
Yeah.
There's no point.
Yeah, we need him at Cromania at the moment.
Absolutely.
With everyone else going to Melbourne.
But if you had to drop one out of Rowan McAdam, you'd be dropping McAdam.
Yeah.
Heartbeat.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Hasn't even taken a screamer in a few weeks.
No,
either.
that's
Hasn't even
what-
tried to take a screamer.
And
in a
that's
few
the
weeks.
difference that you'd pick him over someone else who doesn't have a contested mark, but he
That's
hasn't
right.
been doing that.
Absolutely right. Or hopefully Frampton comes in and brings some high marking and some contested marking.
Yeah.
Well, then how about that? How about you drop McAdam for Frampton?
No, way
Is
too
it too
tall.
tall?
Way too
Yeah.
tall?
Way
Yeah,
too
okay.
tall.
Yeah, no. Yep, I'm with you.
I'm looking forward to this game.
Yeah.
Just quietly, I have it's not a man crush, but I have a little bit of respect for Devon Robertson, who just got the Rising Star nomination from Brisbane. I really hoped that he would come to the Crows, and then it all got fucked up because I believe we had pick 24 or something last year.
Yep.
And
Who do we spend that on?
Brisbane traded with Port after the first night for the very beginning of the
Oh,
second
yeah.
round and
Yeah.
took Devon Robertson
That's
when I was
right.
hoping we would get him 2 picks later. So
Yeah.
Bloody Port
Fucking
Adelaide.
Port, you
Playing some
dogs.
4D chess just to stuff us up.
fucking dogs. But we'll go around the table, give our predictions and best on ground.
All right, you
Lleyton.
go cream.
Okay, I'll go. See, it's hard to even do this because we don't know where the game's going to be played.
No.
But I'm just going to say Brisbane by
It'll be played on grass.
God, I hope so.
30.
Not gravel in
No, we're going to
Tasmania.
Queenstown.
They're going to move us down to Queenstown for this one game.
Brisbane by 38.
Ooh.
They're just the most consistent team in the comp
Yeah.
at the moment. I wouldn't bet against them. And our best on ground will probably be Seed again.
See,
Yeah.
fair. Leading goal kicker.
I don't know if we'll kick more than 6 or 7 goals in this game, so I'm not even willing to give one.
Fair.
Yep.
Yeah, Brisbane by about 5 goals, I think. Laird is the best and Tex to kick 1.
As the leading goal scorer.
Yeah, tied with hopefully a few others. But
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, you'd hope so. Yeah, I reckon a close one, but we fall short by 10 points.
Ooh.
Best on ground, Tex kicking 8, but we lose.
What is going on?
I don't know. Like,
Who kicks the 10 goals in a row for Brisbane then in the second quarter
Yeah.
or third quarter?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Leighton,
I was
you're
about
actually-
Jared Lyons.
I was about to ask what someone put in his drink, but he's not even drinking it.
No, if you thought this out at all, mate, like,
No, because
No.
I don't even know where it's going to be played. How am I meant to predict this?
fair.
Is that scarf covered in petrol and it's just getting to your head?
Is it cutting off circulation to your neck?
something like
What's going on here?
All right. Damon, you're up.
Brisbane by a lot, like 52 points, I
Yeah.
think. Our best, I like Seed for our best and probably our leading goal scorer as well. I reckon a couple of barrels from Seed will be the only highlights. And I reckon their best will be Lion.
Lions.
What did I say?
Lion.
I'm failing
singular.
to hear the difference.
Yeah.
Well, he's only one man.
Yeah.
I reckon Lions with 30 touches and 3 Brownlow votes, I reckon.
To celebrate his
3-year
new contract.
extension.
Yep.
All right. Let's get to our round 16 predictions, even though who knows where they're playing. Refer to pitches. Interstate.
He's reading his own run sheet like he didn't write it.
Yeah. Interstate teams getting the fuck out of there because of COVID. Okay, so
What's on the second page?
good question. Oh, yeah. So on the second page, we have Gladys Berejiklian
Here we go.
eating a snag in bread off of a Simpsons meme page. Yeah, if only this was a visual podcast. But let's
I was
get,
meant to be live on Facebook tonight
Yeah.
instead.
let's get to the pitches. Who's going first?
All right.
Ben.
Thursday night, and this one is locked in. We've got Gold Coast hosting Richmond at Marvel.
I was going to say, don't say names. Let's just go team versus team because
That's
it'll
it.
change.
Gold Coast versus Richmond. And, well, I'll tip Richmond.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, Richmond.
Gold Coast. By 106 goals. What
All
an
of them
event.
kicked
Where
by
is it?
Matthew
All
Rao.
of them kicked by Matty Rao. Yeah.
Where is it potentially supposed to be?
This one says
Tasmania.
Marvel, and we've got odds, so I think that one's locked in.
Richmond. Richmond.
No good. Friday night, another one locked in. Geelong hosting Essendon at GMHBA Stadium.
Essendon.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go with the Bombers too.
I'll go Cats to bounce back.
Yeah, Geelong to bounce back. Saturday, Melbourne hosting GWS at the MCG. Another one that
Just
appears to be locked
quietly, before we get to this next game, I think Darcy Parish will be best on ground in that Essendon-Geelong game. Again, former Geelong Falcons boy. Now, what was this game?
in. Melbourne versus GWS at the MCG.
Yeah. Melbourne by a long way.
Yeah, Melbourne.
GWS won't learn how to play at the MCG in a week. So
No.
Melbourne
No.
by 10 goals.
Yep, Melbourne. Then it's our game. At this stage, Fremantle versus Carlton at Optus Stadium, but unlikely.
Freo.
Yeah. Freya's a better side, I think.
Yeah, I'll go Freo.
Yeah, very close game. I think I'll go Carlton.
Okay.
Next up, this one was confirmed as
Freo
well.
can play at home. That's
They can.
their only
Yeah.
thing.
It's whether or not they. I don't even know why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
It's where they play in the end. That's where we're going to
This is another confirmed one as well. Hawthorn hosting Port at Marvel Stadium Saturday night in Sean Burgoyne's 400th game.
Now, let's congratulate Sean Burgoyne.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Because he
Love him.
played in the 2007 grand final.
Yes. but also, love him or hate him, it does take a lot to play 400 games
yes.
of football.
Absolutely.
Particularly at AFL level. And he may have been nursed through a few this year. And he probably, I will say that he won't be on their list next year.
Yep.
That's a guarantee.
Yep.
Who knows? Maybe we'll go to the Gold Coast.
He was
But-
meant to go there a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
They really went hard for
Yeah,
it
they
a couple
did,
of years
yeah.
ago. Yep.
But, congratulations on a massive achievement. That being said, Port by 12 goals.
I agree. Yeah, Port by about 12, 13.
I'll go draw.
Jesus. Lleyton's given up.
Yeah. He's had enough.
Well, Hawthorn have had a good couple of weeks, so we'll go them to win. They'll lift.
What?
That's
Hawthorn to win.
That's even stranger than the draw.
Yeah.
Are you wearing Lleyton's scarf right now? What's going on?
Yeah.
Nah, I just reckon they'll lift big occasion.
That's Ben sniffing Lleyton's scarf.
The weirdest analogy I think we've had.
Yeah, it's up there.
It's a good one. Another confirmed one. Sydney taking on the Eagles at GMHBA Stadium. Last time the Eagles played there, they lost by 92 points, I think, to Geelong.
I don't even know with this one. I'll say the Eagles.
Yeah, the ground makes it a really big unknown.
Yeah.
I'll say Sydney and Buddy to kick 5 or 6.
Yeah, I'll go Sydney because it is a smaller ground and similar to the SCG.
That's not a bad. I'm going to change my tip to Sydney on the back of that. That's a good point.
No, you said it.
What?
Too late.
What?
I will say West Coast. Oh, no. They sucked so bad in Geelong last time.
That's what we just said.
Yeah, Sydney.
All right. Next up, we've got Collingwood taking on St Kilda at the MCG. In another rip snorter.
This might actually be a good game. Robert Harvey coaching against his old team. Against the Saints. I think Collingwood will win.
I hope
That's brave.
I hope for Collingwood's sake they don't win. You guys need to fall further down the ladder to be able to get a shot at Dacos.
What do you mean? They're like bottom.
Well, they want to stay there.
Yeah,
Collingwood
they don't wanna
15th here,
But
St Kilda 12th.
They're 15th, but they're
That was
equal
close.
17th.
That was close.
He nearly admitted it, didn't he?
Yeah.
We nearly got him.
Hey, I love Collingwood and I love the Crows.
And you go both ways.
Oh, Jesus. But yes, Collingwood will win.
I agree. I'll agree too.
Sure.
Lleyton, if you don't want to be here, mate.
And in the last game of the round, which the last time these two sides have been, I think it was 140-point demolition. Sportsbet have set the line at this one at 50.5 points. It's the Bulldogs taking on North Melbourne at Marvel Stadium.
This will...
Josh Bruce will not kick 10.
He'll kick 13.
Again. Yeah. Josh Franklin.
Do you know the only thing I'm thinking right now is that Simpsons meme? Stop.
Yeah, it's
he's already dead.
And they haven't even turned up yet.
No, just no point playing.
Just
this one.
don't start it.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, the Bulldogs to win.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah. And someone said in the Patreon chat the other day that North are paying $11 here. That just bump that out to 111. I still won't be touching that
Don't
one.
even touch it.
Dogs by the length of 2 Flemington Straights.
Yes.
Yep. Good shout.
I think Bontempelli will get another 3 votes in this game too.
That's the round, is it?
Bulldogs by 12 goals.
Yep. Gotta hope it's the round.
Yeah. Will the games even go ahead? Who knows?
I reckon the AFL has pretty much shown their hand here. They're committed to getting every round played this year.
Yeah.
Whether it means they have to do what they've done here and move teams at late notice or go into hubs, or we might end up playing the next 3 or 4 rounds in Victoria.
So we'll be playing at Wangaratta next week or something.
Might be, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and why not? Like, just they suffered too much financially last year by not playing games. So I think they're committed to making sure that this happens hook or by crook.
Yep.
I agree. And on that note, I reckon we'll start to wrap it up. First things first, I just want to plug our City to Bay participation again in conjunction with the Pressbox podcast. If you haven't listened to them before or you're not getting around them, make sure you do that. Great bunch of blokes there, and they're doing it all for a very worthy cause, raising money for childhood cancer. Thank you to our sponsors in PainMed SA and Trojan Aluminium. Thank you to our Patreons. I do believe we had a new one during the week in Samuel Curtis. That list is ever growing. And if you want to become a part of it and everything that it gets you, you can head to patreon.com/Crowject. And now for our weekly update on the Queenstown Crows, here's Damon.
The only Crows team this year that will guarantee to be played finals, especially if they keep churning out results like this.
Hey.
And if you're new to this, if you don't know what this is, Queenstown Crows play in the Darwin Football League in the western coast of Tasmania. They play on a gravel oval.
The Grovel?
The Grovel, as we've dubbed it. Yes, the famous Queenstown Grovel. No surprise when you play on gravel that you tend to win most of your home games, which they did on the weekend. 24 goals, 25, 169.
Bang!
Thank you. I mean, I'm a bit worried about the 25 behinds just quietly. But
That's all right. It's pretty much a 50% clip.
That comes with the Crow's name.
That's it. I mean, the team they played would have bought the 25 points off them, I reckon, because they kicked 4 goals straight, 24.
Ooh.
169 to 24.
Yeah, kicking more behinds than the other team did, points all up. That's embarrassing.
That's a power move.
Yeah.
Well done. Keep it up.
Absolutely.
Queenstown
Yeah.
Crows.
Big old shout out to the Queenstown Crows.
Yeah, we'll give them a round of applause for that because that is a belting and a half. And on that note, I reckon that'll just about do us. Apologies for the late release this week and everything that's happened. Obviously, COVID and personal things throw that up, but we will be back same time as usual next week. Thank you, Damon.
Thank you, mate.
No worries. Lleyton.
Thank you.
Pleasure as always. Now you can get some sleep. And Benny Mac.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Wherever they're playing or whenever they're playing. Get around the Crows this weekend. Go to Crom.
Go the Crom.
Go Crom.